All right, you guys, I finally watched both seasons of Iron Fist on Netflix, and I have to tell you, it was a little bit of work. It took me a long time to get through season 1. I got to about episode 6, and I'm like, I'm out. I can't take this anymore. It was so slow, and everybody just kept talking about Danny Rand, Danny Rand, Danny Rand. Everybody kept saying the name Danny Rand over and over and over again, and if it wasn't Danny Rand, it was the Hand. So I heard the Hand and the Rand and the Rand Corporation, and the Hand was after Rand. It was just like, okay, this is ridiculous. It's like a Dr. Seuss story. And I had to get out. I just didn't feel like Finn Jones was, convincing as our new Danny Rand Iron Fist. I just felt like the fight scenes were just too choppy and were too elaborate to kind of put some smoke and mirrors up there, sort of conceivably because the actor just wasn't up to snuff as the world's greatest martial artist. And that's what's constantly kind of referenced and refrained over and over again for you as you're watching this thing, is that this guy is supposed to be the best fighter in the world, and his magical fist can do all kinds of damage. And, we see him bust some doors and slam his fist on the ground a bit, and people go flying and stuff like that. But he was really a boring character in season 1. My favorite character absolutely had to be Colleen Wing, who is absolutely amazing in the show. She just has... she should be the Iron Fist, is what I'm thinking. And I tweeted that out as I was finishing the first season. I was like, why isn't there a Colleen show? She is terrific. She's a real hero. She's got presence, and she's got weight, and she has believability, and her fight scenes look less chopped up and a little bit smoother. I just thought that this was a great character. Lo and behold, Colleen Wing actually does become a much bigger part of season 2, and I was happy to see that. But I just didn't feel for any of the new villains that are sort of brought up into 4 in the second season. And once again, I felt like Finn Jones was a little too weak to be our central figure. He's just too neurotic, and he's too, filled with self-doubt and constantly just trying to train up to be worthy of this gift that he has with the Iron Fist. And he's got a brother, Davos, who was introduced in the first season. In the second season, he becomes a much bigger character. And he basically sides against the Iron Fist because of jealousy. And I didn't feel like there was a real strong brotherly relationship between these two characters, and I didn't feel like the hate and this desperation to have the Iron Fist was really warranted by the way that the storytelling was put together there. It doesn't help that the dialogue is so ridiculously cheeseball all the way through it. Everybody's just sort of painting what should be their motivations in what they're saying from scene to scene to scene, and Finn Jones is constantly just sort of flexing his eyebrows and just sort of like really concerned and always sighing, lots of heavy sighs all the way through this. Alice Eve is also in the show in the second season playing Typhoid Mary, and again overacted and overperformed, and her backstory is done with some really cheeseball flashbacks, and you're just sort of left to connect the dots. The one bright spot again in season 2 is Colleen Wing kicks ass, and they give her just desserts in the second season. There is a tremendous light shone on her, and she deserves every bit of that spotlight. I also liked the fact that there was this sense of realization, I think, on the part of the showrunners and the part of Finn Jones and stuff, that they needed to share the spotlight a little bit more there. And I'm not dogging Finn Jones. I think he's a competent guy, but it required more than the guy was really capable of. And I'm not just talking about fighting prowess, but just a heroic physicality and lots of different layers and nuance that, made you just fall in love with this guy as somebody that would actually go out and patrol the streets of New York with a sense of virtue. And honestly, that's my biggest problem with this series in general, is that I felt like I watched 2 seasons of Iron Fist, and for the bulk of the episodes that I watched, it was a hero who just didn't believe he should have been a hero. And it was like a show run by people and writers that just didn't believe that they had a show that was worthy of being heroic, And so it's fully undermined by all of this self-exploration and these identity crises that are constantly happening throughout. All of this disbelief in oneself, which is like a core tenet, a core message of the show, is like, am I worthy to be the Iron Fist? And by the end of the 23 episodes that you watch of this thing, you're like, Yeah, you're goddamn worthy. I've put in 23 hours watching this thing. Be the goddamn Iron Fist. Be the fist. Be the guy. Go out and patrol and be a superhero. And it's not that. It doesn't really do it. So, yeah, Iron Fist. Season 1 was awful. I'm going to give Season 1 a 4 out of 10, and I'm going to give Season 2 a 6 out of 10. Do better, Netflix. Hopefully Iron Fist Season 3, if there's going to be one, will be great.